All right, joining us now, as promised, the running backs coach for the Oklahoma State Cowboys, John Wozniak, and Coach. I know at the Mike Gundy Summer Social, you had the latest addition to the Wozniak. She's growing, by the way, and she's getting up there. But your daughter was with you, and how's that going? That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool to keep you up all night. So other than that part's been awesome. So she's 14 months and running around all over the place. So she keeps us busy.
Yeah, and you know what? The good thing is, you've always got some babysitters you can tap into. Now, I mean, you got to choose which of those running backs are most trustworthy and won't fumble. But that's you got some babysitters. I would always trust Chuba Hubbard. Chuba seems to me the guy that you could really trust.
You can, yeah, and I think LD be a pretty good one too. So he takes a lot of interest in her. So she's scared of some of the guys, but yeah, Chuba and LD, she likes those two.
That's good, and we appreciate Coach Gundy letting us talk to you guys during your office. You'll get office time, then you're going to get some time off, which is great. Everybody needs to do that and recharge. And gosh, it's going to be here before long. But let's talk a little bit because I would think that there are a number of other guys on the staff that at staff meetings look at you and go, "God, Waz, your room's really good, man. You got a lot of good guys down there because that running back room. And I was peeking in there last night, kind of waiting to check in with you and set this up. And yeah, that's even from the back. All those guys in that room look good.
Yeah, I've benefited from good recruiting between Jamal Singleton signing recruiting Justice and then Marcus Arroyo, and he did a good job. And so it's I've been the beneficiary of that, so I'm pretty lucky that way. And hopefully we keep this thing rolling. They're great kids, more importantly than being good players. They're just great dudes to be around. They work hard, and I've really been fortunate that way. So got a good group of guys coming back. I'm excited.
Well, and we'll get into it. And he's the pup in the room, at least as far as recruits. But you've kind of extended that too. I mean, all you did last year was pull probably one of, if not the very best running back down in the state of Texas with DeAndre Glass from Katy. And I remember the day he made that announcement at that All-Star game down in Houston. I'm like, wow, you add DeAndre Glass to the guys that are in this group already. That's pretty good, and you had to feel really good because I mean, anytime a coach goes on the recruiting trail, I'm sure coaches were using all the guys that were already in the program here against you, saying, "Hey, why do you want to go there? They've got this guy, this guy, this guy," and yet your connection with DeAndre and was so solid, and he wanted to be a part of the tradition of running backs at Oklahoma State. That had to be a really pleasant recruiting experience for you.
That was fun. It really was, and we've got a bunch of good ones coming back, so that wasn't easy. But he was looking at Alabama and Ohio State, and I'm sure they got good ones coming back too. So when you're recruiting against good people like this, and we've got a great program too, then to get on the field, you're going to fight for playing time, and I think he understood that. So that didn't scare him off because he knew that would be the case at any place that's worth its salt. So the earning the playing time and that kind of thing, older guys, that wasn't too big a factor. We just, everything just kind of fit. We were a little bit away from home, but not too far away. And he's a big fan of Barry Sanders and like what we did on offense. And so, it was a good little recruiting win for us. And he's got a long way to go, like all freshmen do, to get on the field. So that'll be the next step now that he's here. So, but we're excited that we got him.
Yeah, let's get into the group and heading into this season. And I've said this on this show several times since the NFL draft. And again, I like all of us, I was a huge and am a huge Justice Hill fan, and I think he's a great fit for the Ravens. He's different than the backs they have, and he'll be a great addition. He'll bring some speed and some maybe a few different little intricacies into the Ravens offense. But if Justice had decided not to go to the NFL, that would have been one heck of a battle when he came out of the Bedlam game, and that was kind of maybe the real changing of the guard with Chuba. I remember what Chuba did the rest of that afternoon in Norman, and then really from then on. Um, and I also remember, being in the locker room after the TCU game, which was disappointing, and Coach Gundy asked for, did anybody have anything to say? And when he says it that way, I'm like, okay, nobody say anything. He just wants everybody to shower up and let's get the heck out of here. And Chuba said, yeah, Coach, I got something to say, and talked about being accountable and that he didn't do his job and he was going to, and I'm like, okay, young pup, and he did speak up and said the right things. But I guess what I'm getting around to is you've got a real good, well-rounded, very talented guy there with Chuba to kind of be maybe the flagship in this group.
Sure do. Yeah, he's got a really good knack for leadership, and I think he's developed that here with, between Coach Gundy bringing that out and some of these guys, and Joel Tubman and Rob Rasty down the way bringing these guys. They've really done a great job with him developing his leadership skills and how he can be accountable for himself and then bring other people with him. So I think that's the big part of where he's going as a leader, is that he's not just leading himself. He's trying to have influence and bring guys with him. That's what leadership is. And so I think we've really benefited from that. He's helped these younger guys, the newer guys, in the program. So, I didn't expect him to speak up that day either. He had such a good game against Oklahoma the week before, and the game was one he'd like to forget, and we don't like to forget. That was a rough day for us on offense, and the good part is that he spoke up like that and then came back in the bowl game and played really well. He was really good in that bowl game, so that was good to see. And he bounced back and had a great day. So I'm excited for him. I think he'll have a great year.
Yeah, I am too. And then when you look at it, you mentioned LD with regards to the babysitting, but LD has got a lot of talent, and I think sometimes people dismiss him. He can catch the ball well. He's not as big as Chuba, but he runs tough, and he's got some real great takeoff speed. So you've got him. Then after that, people really haven't seen Jamil Jeter. I remember last year, former coach Pat Jones was at one of the fall practices, and he came over to me and goes, "Well, Robert, just Jeter kid. I think he's going to be the real deal. You know what? I like what I see there. And then and then beyond that, Desmond Jackson comes in, and our fans haven't seen much of him. He came out of Hutch, and when I remember talking during the spring with Chuba about the backs as a group, and Chuba brings him out first and says, "Let me tell you something now. Desmond Jackson's got some game. This guy can play." So you look at it, it's a pleasant problem for you to have, but it just goes past Chuba and all those guys. Talk about a little bit about each one of those guys and what you see them bringing to the table.
Yeah, those four guys coming back are. I'm really excited about all of them. And LD, people don't realize he averaged 6.6 yards a carry as a redshirt freshman 2 years ago. So he's done some things on the field, and then last year he averaged 6. So he's done it, and he's produced in games. And there's a lot of Big 12 teams that he was the starter. So he's really done a good job of continuing to stay positive and finding a role on this team, even though he's got potentially 2 draft picks that have played in front of him. So he's done a good job, and I'm glad he's here because he's a really, really good player, and he's got real speed, and he's turned himself into a complete back. So that's really good. I think he'll have a really good season too. Jeter redshirted last year, and we just had so many guys in front of him. That was the natural thing to do, and he played a little bit of special teams with this 4-game redshirt rule and did a little bit of that at the end of the year. But he has tremendous patience and vision, and really got the best ball skills in the unit. He catches the ball better than anybody in the group, and I think that'll be a real positive for us, is that he's got the size and he's got patience and vision and the ball skills. And Desmond, we saw enough in the spring to really get excited and like him. He got a hamstring for a little bit, so he missed about half the spring. So we didn't get to see as much as we wanted to see out of him. But as far as work ethic and character and size, strength, speed, he's right up there with all of them. So I think that first 4 could play anywhere in the country. That's a really good group. So I'm excited about him.
Yeah, and last night I kind of made the rounds and watched a little bit of metabolics and I'm always interested in I'm not out there to figure out X's and O's and all that. I'm really kind of looking at effort and how the workouts progress and with the players leading it. Because Rob and some of his guys, Rob Glass, are out there, but they're just out there to facilitate. It's the players that are actually doing the leading, and I walked
Right.
around the entire field checking out each group, and to be honest, the running backs really that may have been where I was most impressed. And Chuba and LD were doing the pretty much the leading, but there were some guys, and you've got some good walk-ons as well. I mean, there's a talented group of kids. Period. They all look the part.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the guys, I'm going to name names. They were doing catching different balls, either low or high. Just a drill where they're trying to make catches on tough balls, and
Mm-hmm.
one of them was having trouble at the end, and it was on the ball that was high, and he's probably not the tallest of the running backs. And instead, it reminded me a little bit of James Washington and the way he used to do things when he would lead the drills in metabolics. They wouldn't move on until everybody made the catch. And
Mm-hmm.
when this running back was having some trouble, instead of guys snickering or maybe being less than positive, like what? Come on, man, it was as a group. Hey, you can do this. Everybody's getting around you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're okay. I just
Yeah.
you'll get this done. And it took him 3 or 4 times, but never it was never a negative. It was always come on, man, and it was the group cheerleading him on. That shows me a lot. That tells me a lot about what things are like in your room and the way you've kind of instilled the running back culture. So I mean, I would think that's something that's got to make you proud that that's the way these guys are working and the way they're treating each other.
Yeah, that is. That makes me feel good. Obviously, we can't see a lot of this stuff in the summers. We don't know a lot of what's going on out there, and we're just hoping that the guys that has played, which is LD and Chuba, that those two guys can bring the other ones with them because there is something to be said for having produced on the field when it comes to leadership and bringing some other guys around and holding guys accountable and all that. The guys that have done it on the field are the ones that are in the position to do that. So those guys got to set the tone for you, and if they don't, then we're in really bad shape. So that is, and it's really good to hear because you don't want to move on until everybody gets it, and make sure that it gets done right. Otherwise, there's no reason to be out there. So that's the hard part when you're not out there to hold anybody accountable. They got to hold themselves accountable and set a high standard. So it's a good group. I'm a lucky guy that way.
And Coach John Wozniak, Cowboys running backs coach, with us, and we'll finish on this. Um, team and Mike Gundy has gone on the record talking about, that he personally took a big chunk of the blame for going 7-6, but I really sensed a difference after the bowl game. I sensed a difference watching this team in off season and spring football, and it's not easy going on the road. I know Oregon State wasn't all that good last year, but you got to go on the road and open in Corvallis, Oregon. Kind of your thoughts on the team as a whole. I know Coach Gleason's come in. It seems like that's been a big positive. Coach Dickey as well with the offensive line. But your thoughts heading into the season and the opener at Oregon State.
Well, it's like you said, they haven't had a lot of success lately. Now, they're in the second or third year now of this rebuild, and that's when it gets dangerous because they've had a bunch of guys coming back. I think the whole defense comes back except maybe a nose tackle. So I can't speak to the offense, but defensively they're going to have a bunch of guys that have been there and have learned the system. So they've worked out all the mistakes for the last couple of years that they probably feel like they've been making. So, and then we have to go there. We got to go there, and whoever takes the first snap is going to be his first time taking a snap for us. And so when you travel that far with a new quarterback and some new players and all that, there's going to be nothing easy about this. So we just need to play well. If we can play hard and execute, we'll be okay. And I'm excited about it. I've never been there before. I hear the crowd is awesome there. That's a cool place to play. So we're excited to go and get started. I think we got a really good team. I think we'll surprise people this year, and I think this team's got an edge. This team's gonna surprise people because I think we're all ticked off. I appreciate Coach Gundy for taking the taking some of the blame or most of the blame for that, and that's what great head coaches do. But the fact is, it's on all of us. It's on all of us as a staff. It's on all of us as players. The whole thing. We have to do it better, and we got to find a way to do it better than we did last year, and I think we will.
Well, Coach, I appreciate it. Again, appreciate your time, and hope you have a great, vacation. Get away from it with, with that new daughter, and still new. 14 months is still new, and then look forward to getting back at it. And like I said, I'm looking forward to watching your group because we've had some great running backs. I mean, I was here for the Barry Sanders, Thurman Thomas era, and we've had some great running backs here. But as a group, when you go 1 to 5, I don't know that the 1 to 5 group has ever been as strong as it is now. So I'm really looking forward to it. And again, appreciate your time.
I appreciate it too. It's hard to lose Justice Hill and say that we'll be just as good or better. And so, but we're excited
that is an incredible. You're right. That's an incredible statement to make. But
yeah,
and that and
I
again,
don't know. I'm not quite ready to do that. I'd love to have Justice back. So, but it is a good group of guys and good players. So I think we'll be just fine.
All right. Hey, Woz, I appreciate it. Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Coach John Wozniak, Cowboys running backs coach, and see he's not ready to go as far as I've gone with the, and I say it knowing Justice Hill, tremendous football player. He's going to be good in the league. I heard an interview with Justice the other day. I mean, he's fired up, and I've even seen some video of him with the Ravens during minicamp, and all of those have kind of broken up. The NFL players are all kind of scattering for their break, and